All right, let's talk about how you engineer a world record. Today, we're going to deconstruct a really remarkable athletic achievement to see how success isn't just about talent, it's about design.
So check this out. At the 2025 European Masters Athletics Championship, one single athlete had two totally different outcomes. First, he runs a personal best, the race of his life, and it feels like a total letdown. Then, he runs a team relay that ends with a world record. So what on earth was the difference?
Well, the answer isn't just about physical training, it's all in the mind. The real difference was a meticulously, almost obsessively engineered mental process. We're talking about the huge gap between hoping for a result and literally programming one. Okay, so first up, let's look at the individual race. We're talking about Kit Eklöf, a 42-year-old sprinter from Sweden, and this inner battle that happens when you hit a personal milestone. This time, wow, this was the result of a whole year of intense, dedicated training. But get this, just 2 weeks before the race, Kit's nervous system was completely fried. He had to take this huge gamble, just stop, complete rest, and hope his body would recover. Well, on race day, it paid off. He ran faster than he ever had in his entire life. And here is the paradox. I mean, can you imagine, despite the performance of a lifetime, he finished 10th. He missed making the final by just 2 spots. So you're left with this bizarre feeling of, wow, I did amazing, but also, I failed. And that right there, that's the absolute limit of what individual effort and just hope can get you. But what happens when you swap out hope for a systematic, rock-solid plan? Let's take a look. All right, now let's flip the script and talk about the 4x400 mixed relay. See, this wasn't treated as just another race. Nope. This was engineered over 6 long months as a project in applied psychology. The team wasn't just aiming to win, go for the gold. They were aiming to execute a super precise plan. Their goal was to run a very specific time, 3 minutes and 39 seconds, and in doing so, to absolutely shatter the world record. So the big question is, how on earth did they do it? Well, they used a whole series of mental tools to build this culture of absolute certainty. It's fascinating. Let's break down that mental algorithm. It all started with something so simple, you might have missed it. 6 months before the race, their team WhatsApp chat was created. And its name? It had 4 gold medal emojis in it. So from the very first message, they weren't just hoping for victory, they were declaring it as their baseline reality. That is a powerful psychological anchor to set right from the start. And then there were the shoes. These weren't just shoes, they were a uniform, a physical, tangible symbol of their shared mission. So every time a teammate looked down, they got an instant reminder that they weren't 4 individuals anymore, they were one single, cohesive unit. Then, just when everything was clicking into place, a crisis hits. A real-world tragedy that could have derailed the whole thing. And this is the kind of moment that truly tests what a team is made of. But instead of fracturing, their response just made them stronger. This one message, it's huge. It's an incredibly powerful psychological tool. By giving their teammate unconditional support, they created this bubble of profound psychological safety. They were basically saying, you are more important than this race. That kind of trust, it solidified everything. Now, this is where it gets really subtle and really interesting. It's all about how a tiny, almost unnoticeable change in language can reveal a massive shift in a team's entire mindset. So in the final days before the race, Kit posted in the chat that if they won, they'd set a world record. But he immediately corrected himself, changed the if to when. Now, that's not a typo. That was a conscious act of reframing reality, cementing the outcome not as a possibility, but as a future certainty. Okay, so here's the really brilliant part. They planned for chaos. Relays are notoriously unpredictable, right? Batons get dropped, people trip. Instead of ignoring that, they embraced it. They decided that their performance, running 3:39, was going to be completely independent of whatever chaos was happening around them. So, with that mental algorithm fully programmed, race day became less about a performance and more about, well, just simple execution. All the hard work, the real work, had already been done. I mean, everything was synchronized, from their nutrition to their warm-ups, All these months of mental and physical rehearsal, it leads to this state psychologists call automaticity, where complex stuff just happens intuitively without you having to think about it. There was zero friction, zero drama, just a shared, effortless rhythm. So when Kit gets the baton for his leg of the race, he described this feeling of complete and total calm. He wasn't tense, he wasn't overhyped, he was just relaxed and disciplined, running with the feeling that the outcome was already a done deal. And this, right here, is the ultimate proof of their process. They didn't just beat the world record, they hit their exact pre-programmed target almost to the 100th of a second. The time on the clock was just confirming the reality that they had already built in their minds. And afterwards, Kit said something really telling. He noted a total absence of fatigue. That's a real physiological sign of being in a perfect state of flow, a state that was fueled by months of collective engineered belief. So, the key takeaway here is this. They didn't just build a team, they designed a mental algorithm for success. From that very first emoji in their group chat to the final baton exchange, every single action was a deliberate step in that process. The race itself was just the final confirmation of what they had programmed themselves to know was true. And that leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? If a world record can be so meticulously engineered with the right mental tools, what seemingly impossible goal could you start designing a process for in your own life today?